Hello, everyone. Welcome to the official release of the Wind Waker Multiworld project. I have right here the randomizer. I was just going to go over a couple of the current issues and things you'll want to keep in mind while you play and prepare, and then I'll go over the setup. So overall, it's going to be very similar to the current randomizer. You can select your current starting items, you can select different player customizations, and you can pick models. Where it is different is Key Lunacy and Randomized Starting Island have both been disabled. Those features currently do not work. You see here, you can disable multiplayer, you can go to co-op, or you can go to multi-world. Right now, I only recommend using the randomizer for multi-world. This is as of version 0.0.3. From everything else is pretty much the same. Something you have to keep in mind is Great Fairies, short side quests, checks like this that aren't supported yet, they don't matter. If you enable them or disable them, it doesn't matter. I recommend personally enabling all the checks and then removing specifically the checks you don't want, that you know are going to be supported by the current multi-world logic, which is if it has a chest, it's supported. That's the easiest way to think about it. From there, the only other things to keep in mind is that your world count needs to match how many people. So let's say we have 4 people, then I need to pick a world ID of 1, 2, 3, or 4. If I try to pick a negative world ID, it will actually fail to randomize and it will tell me what I need. The last thing to keep in mind with the randomizer itself is this do not generate spoiler log has been disabled as well. This makes it easier for myself to do any testing that needs to happen. Everything else, however, can be changed as needs be. Oh, randomized entrances, this also is actually disabled. It's not disabled in the same way that these are, but it won't do anything. And that is it for randomizer changes for version 0.0.3. From there, let's move on to the client. So here is the nice client that is so much easier to use. There is a join room or setup room. Currently, setup room does nothing, so we'll stick to join room. You can select multi-world or co-op. We'll go over multi-world first. This is the perfect IP address, the windwakermultiplayer.com on port 8080. We'll want to put in a room name. This has to be unique. So in the case of this, we'll just put test. The final step is you have to launch Dolphin along with your ISO. Max players technically doesn't do anything right now, but I'd still keep that to what you plan to use. And then this world ID needs to match the world ID you put in the randomizer. So if I put in world ID 2, I'm going to want it to say 2. Now that I have Dolphin running and it's configured correctly, I just need to click join. We'll see that I'm connecting to Dolphin, connecting to console. It lets me know that I've connected to the server and I am in my right game room. And we have no errors. So now your friend, your buddy, would go onto their Dolphin and their client and they would set up as well. And then all you need to do is just start playing and it will naturally just pick up from there. Something to note is you might get a couple issues right now is that you can get double items every once in a while. This is a bug that I haven't figured out. It has a knack of sometimes just not connecting. But that is very rare now. It's a lot rarer than it used to be. The last thing to keep in mind when it comes to the game itself is any location that is not part of the randomization logic, so that is not considered a progressive location, is actually not randomized at all right now. So, for example, your leaf will always be on the Deku tree. Your bait bag will always be in Beetle. Those are extra items. You will still find yours or another player's Deku leaf or bait bag within the progressive locations. You can think of those right now as nice little Easter egg handicaps. The last thing would be for co-op. For co-op, I would recommend using the 0.02 randomizer instead of the 0.03, just due to the fact that you can have more customizable logic with that. We'll disconnect from the server. So you'll see when I click co-op, my max players and my world ID gray out, and my player name is now open. So I could put in a player name, and I can join. And now if I were to send an item out, it would say like Crane found the Deku Leaf, or John found the Deku Leaf. It doesn't do that for multi-world yet. That is an upcoming feature. For co-op, it runs a little bit differently. And then once again, this ready to play does nothing. But that is it when it comes to important things to note. Thanks so much, everyone, for enjoying this project. Feel free to join the Discord and let me know if there's any issues that come up.